Welcome everyone. Hope all is well. Another daily market blitz here. We'll run through these setups, zip through all these pairs, and let's get started. Risk disclaimer, read it over. And let's go. Start off here on Euro dollar. And we talked about this potentially making a move up here, right? So in weekly Forex forecast, we were sitting down here. I said you wanted to watch out for this. Looks like we're making this pattern, right? So it looks like you're just making a correction. You're making an A, B, and a C. And I got next quarter's pivots on. Let's step out to the daily chart, all right? So we're starting to stack here on the daily chart. We're correcting. And I'm looking for further continuation to the downside next quarter. Um, And this correction is just going to give us double tops and stuff at our daily 200, at your 4-hour 200. So again, you're looking to sell. All right, you're looking to sell and you're looking to sell. And we could be making this correction right here. And I don't see these highs getting taken out. So you could basically take a sell. If you're not already in it, you could just load up on your 4-hour 200 with a stop above this high. I don't think this high is getting taken out. If anything, I think you make a running flat. Your B wave's probably going to come down and break the low right here. So I think you could go ahead, take your 4-hour 200. And you don't want to see a close above this high. So um, that is Euro dollar. What do we got on CAD, right? Let's go to dollar CAD because we're sitting right here inside of our 100 and our 123.6. All right, so and if we dive down to this structure a little further, this structure should be complete because you've got a running flat right here. You've got a running flat in the middle, and if we measure all of that, we got a W. We got a W right here. W, X, Y. We're on the 1-hour chart. So we got a W, we got an X, and we got a Y wave down. All right. And we'll measure that. So we'll measure the W to the top of the X. And you're coming into the 100 of that now. All right. So the 100 of your lower degree, WXY, is falling in line with 100 and 123.6 of this larger degree. So we are looking for an impulse up. All right. So we're looking for a move up on dollar CAD. Looking for this move up tomorrow, tonight, tomorrow, whatever. You're looking for this. All right. So back to the 4-hour chart. And then this should tell us whether or not price wants to come down to our daily 200. If we start rolling over and we go to the one, now we measure from here to the 100. And the question is, are we going to the 1618? If we go to the 1618, that's down there at our quarterly midpoint, and that's our daily 200. We'll go to daily 200, zoom out. I'll get rid of this, right? And we'll get rid of this. So that's basically what you're looking for. If we come down to the 1618, you're going to be sitting at next quarter's midpoint. And if I put monthly pivots on as well, all right, we'll add another pivot point and we'll change this to monthly. You're going to see that your monthly S1 lines up at your 1618 and your quarterly next quarter's midpoint. So if we do come down to the daily 200, you are potentially catching the low of the quarter if we do make this move, and it is complete in this larger structure right here, right? So completing the A, the B, the C down. So you are looking for buy setups in this area if we come down. But again, we might not make it here. So because you're completing these lower time frame setups now. So back down to the 1 hour, right? Because we could absolutely get something that looks like this. Instead of this thing dropping, we could correct right here. All right. We could correct right here and take off. All right. Price could correct. Instead of drop and just keep going back to the top of this channel we're talking about, right? The other channel we talked about. Because you're still in this, right? You could still be in this ascending channel. And this could just work its way right back up to the top of the channel like this. All right, so you want buys here, you want to put them to break even. So if it comes back and takes you out, it's fine. That means we're probably going to the 618 and our daily 200 down there. If it takes off, you're in the trade from the bottom of this smaller channel. All right, so that is dollar CAD. Nothing to do on Aussie. It's corrected. All right, we're going sideways and daily chart. I am expecting this to go up, but it looks like you want to correct a little more. So you're just looking for some larger sideways action here. And just let it correct. You're in the middle of this thing right now. Same thing with New Zealand. All right, if we look at New Zealand on the 4-hour chart, we do need to watch this, right? If this thing starts falling apart and we start building out a running flat right here, so we'll keep an eye out for this, but there's nothing to do as of right now. But you do got to watch out for this running flat pattern. Daily chart, clear this off. If we look at it strictly from a daily chart point of view, it looks like we could be doing this as well. So just let it go sideways for right now. Nothing to do in Aussie or New Zealand. You do have stuff to do in CAD and you got stuff to do in Euro. Euro's real nice. Like I said, Euro, I don't think you're taking out these highs here. So, and we could just be building out a running flat and looking to trend next quarter. So, and this is next quarter's midpoint. All right, so next quarter's midpoint is up here. And we'll see what happens. So, I don't think this high 108.555 is getting taken out. So, that is that. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, you're getting a buy setup right now on a 4-hour chart. So you're coming down. You know why you want buys in this thing. And when we step out here to the weekly chart, we're looking for a weekly close above the 8. So this is what we're anticipating on the weekly chart. We're anticipating a weekly close above the 8 on the smaller time frame. You're getting a 4-hour buy setup now. You're coming down. You're holding your momentum. So this is a nice trade on 4-hour chart, right? So 1-hour chart. This thing looks like it's correcting, and you want to take this thing on up. You could simply stick a buy order above the high. All right, and you get taken out. Your stop goes at the lower the structure. So dollar Swiss is looking nice, and we like a lot of these Swiss pairs. So, Aussie Swiss correcting, right? So you're correcting. If we do come back down here, it's a buy setup all the way. Step out here to the daily chart, and you're sitting right at next quarter's pivot, and we'll see. If the lower time frame setups don't work, then we're going to be looking for a daily divergence trade. But you already got some divergence, so you already got a lower low right here off the 200 with divergence, and this thing should go. Again, we're in this thing for the weekly upcycle, and we're anticipating a weekly close above the 8 and continuation next quarter, especially in July. We should trend good. So you want these lower time frame buy setups back down to the 4-hour chart. you're flagging at your 200. If price does make if we do make a move down here to your 4-hour 34, you absolutely want to take your next green candle, all right? Because then that's going to be a failed 4-hour 200 200 bounce, right? You got a double top off your 4-hour 200. If we come down to our 4-hour 34, now that's going to get taken out. So, and probably cause a short squeeze on up. So, Aussie Swiss, you won't buy setups all the way. So, Euro Oz, we like this one as well. Daily chart, right? It'd be nice if we can get a daily pullback to next quarter's midpoint. And right, you've got a monthly R1 right here sitting in, and I don't know if we're going to get this high or not, but it'd be nice to come out of this 8. The question is, are we going to stay trending below this 8 for a while? If so, we're getting a 4-hour 34B, but I would like to see this thing come out of this 8 and give us a daily overbought 34B to sell. If we can catch a daily overbought 34B for trend continuation down the next quarter's S2, that's our trade. So I like this better. Let's see if we can catch that. Let's see if that will set up. All right. If you didn't catch these ZAR pairs, Euro ZAR had a nice rip today. So we talked about taking the first daily green Hankanashi bar. If we put our chart on Hankanashi, and right, and we go to daily chart, I'm already in Eurozar, but you got a green daily Hankanashi bar, and we're looking for an impulse up. So I'm looking for this thing to stay green on the Hankanashi chart. Same thing with dollar ZAR. You got a green daily Hankanashi bar. I'm looking for it to stay green, and I'm looking for an impulse up. We're looking for flat correction right here. All right, we're looking for a flat correction. And it's the same thing with pound ZAR, right? Pound ZAR, same thing. So take your pick. And that is all I got, right? New Zealand CAD still doing what we want. You're coming down. We didn't jump the gun. We're basically waiting for a daily Hankanashi. All right, a daily Hankanashi close, and we're going to take that trade. These yen pairs, right? You're still sitting up here. I said if you get a 4-hour Hankanashi close below the 8, take it. We haven't gotten it yet. So I am on the lookout for lower time frame sell setups, and we don't have them yet, right? So I'm waiting on a divergence entry, a 1-hour divergence. I'm waiting on a 1-hour. If I get an 834 cross in the 1 hour, I'm going to be looking to take a 15-minute sell setup as I'm getting that 1 hour 834 cross. We don't have that yet, so I'm waiting for something to set up in the lower time frame that we don't have yet to take this trade. And Euro Yen actually made a higher high. So if we go to Euro Yen, you did take out these highs, I believe. Let's go to regular chart. And no, not yet. It's right there. So again, these are great areas to look for sell setups. We're sitting at our quarterly, up here at our quarterly R2, and we just don't have a sell setup in the lower time frame. So I already took a shot on the running flat, this potential running flat right here. So took a shot on this. If it wants to work, there we go. So I was looking for this. Again, I got stopped out right here. And I'm simply waiting for a lower time frame setup now. All right, so we don't have one yet. We don't have divergence. I'm waiting for an 8. Same thing. If I see an 834 cross to the downside in the 1 hour, I'll look to take a 15-minute 34B or something as I'm getting that 834 cross, but it's not set up yet. All right, so that is about all I got. I do like this Aussie CAD as well. If we go to the daily chart, again, you're set up nice for, you got next month's pivot down here, next month's S1, you got your pivot point. I'm looking for continuation in Aussie CAD. So even if we come down here, I'm going to look to buy a little more. I'm already in at the 34 from down here. Well, I'm already in from down here. So we took this setup in Daily Market Blitz. I think it was this one over here. It's one of these over here. So I'm looking to add another piece on down here. All right. So that'll be my X add-on. My next add-on be the Daily 89, our monthly S1, and our quarterly pivot. And that is that. So that should about do it. That should about do it. I am on the lookout for 1 hour 834 crosses in these yen pairs to the downside. As I'm getting them, I'll be taking 15-minute sell setups. Now, if I see them, if I have time to post them, I'll post them under my community tab. But we'll see. Depends on what time they set up. Nasdaq, we talked about Nasdaq coming down, filling this gap. And that's what you're doing. And then we're probably going to correct to this trend line here. Right? This larger weekly trend line. But Nasdaq is just about filled the gap. Outside of that, I don't have too much to do on Nasdaq and gold. Gold was sitting at that 100 that we drew up. And it's tough to say right now. Could go either way. You might get a running flat off of this 100, or this thing's going to fall apart. So we'll see. I would like this to come down because we do have next quarters. This would be a great area to buy gold if we can make a fifth wave down. We'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing sequence down to our monthly S1 and our quarterly midpoint down here. So I do like this area as potentially catching the low of the quarter, next quarter. So again, I'm not really interested in this buy right here. In hindsight, we probably should have took this 100 with a stop below this low, because if we do get stopped out, then we're coming down to an absolute monster trade. Kind of the same thing on CAD, right? We want to take them buy setups now in dollar CAD for that smaller channel. But if we get stopped out, you're running into a slam dunk buy down here. So this stop out's not going to hurt you because you're running into a much better buying opportunity down here that you can catch on the lower time frame, and you're potentially catching the low of the quarter in gold. So we'll see what happens. But if this thing falls apart, don't worry about it. Let it break this low, and then we're going to go into buy mode down here at next quarter's monthly S1 and our quarterly midpoint. And July is typically a strong month for commodities. So at minimum, we'll be looking for a 3-wave structure back to the high, or at least the 50% of this structure. So that is gold. And so that's that. You want buys in dollar Swiss. You want buys in Aussie Swiss. You want buys in New Zealand Swiss. We're on the lookout for CAD yen sells, dollar yen sells, euro yen sells, and Swiss yen sells. And that's pretty much that. That's all I got. You guys like what I'm doing? Do me a favor, hit thumbs up, subscribe. Have a good one. See you.